Hello, how is everyone today? I am here, wanted to get on and show you several things today. I have a lot to show you actually, but I am not going to rush this time. I'm going to take my time. So I hope you enjoy. Try not to make it too boring. First of all, I wanted to talk about what I'm wearing. This was actually started out as an Afghan. The pattern is out of Afghans by the Pound. It's a pattern book, I think from Michaels. Anyway, the pattern is called Daisy Garden. And like I said, I started this as an Afghan for myself. But, oops, there's a hair. But since I started the Attic 24 blanket, that hydrangea stripe blanket, since I started that for myself, I decided to offer this to my daughter, my middle daughter, because the Afghan I made for her, it was actually the first Afghan that I made, and I was still very new to crochet, and I used Walmart yarn. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I used Walmart yarn before they, my friend told me they turned over or switched over to a better brand. But anyway, it's already starting to rip and tear. And my daughter uses it, but she's not like rough with it, but still. So anyway, so I was like, well, maybe, because she really likes, that it looks like flowers. She's my flower girl. She loves flowers. So anyway, I offered it to her, and I was like, well, I'll just finish it for her. Well, then, so I said, well, what colors do you like? And she said she wants pink, blue, and red. It's my adventurous daughter. So I said, okay, well, this isn't going to work then. So what I did, I made it into a cowl. It's a pretty thick, heavy cowl. I used Karen 1 pound. And what I did, I just stitched up the side. I used kind of this back and forth, kind of a lacy, just because, I wanted it to kind of match the pattern design, but I didn't want to take away from it either. I was going to do a single crochet, but I was like, that would look too boring up against this pretty flower pattern. So I just kind of did something. I think it looks like lattice work. And climbing flowers, what do? They climb a lattice, in your garden. So I thought that was appropriate. So anyway, yeah, I stitched up the ends. I just actually pulled it out of the dryer so I could wear it, because I wanted it to kind of relax and not be stiff. I put it on, it was like a box. I couldn't see over it. But anyway, but I also thought, because it's so big, it's like I said, it's pretty big. I thought maybe, and I hope I don't look silly doing this, but I also twisted it. I've seen how cowls, when you stitch them up, you twist them. So they have kind of this pretty, so I twisted mine too. I've never done that before. So we're trying all kinds of new things today. So I thought, do this hooded, the hooded cowls, so I might do that if I'm adventurous someday. Like I see it hangs down pretty, so it'll keep my neck and my ears warm in the colder months, but yeah, I think it looks pretty. I don't know, I like it. It's very thick and warm. Yeah, I'm already feeling a little hot. So anyway, I really like it, and these, I love these colors, gray and green. So I'm actually I really like how chunky and big it is. Because it's almost like a wrap, but it hangs on your shoulders. So yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, Frida is put her to work today. This is the Ruana that I've been working on, and this panel is done. This was the first panel, and then this is the second panel. As you can see, I'm about halfway done with the second panel. And it goes out pretty wide. How can I say this? Frida is smaller than I am. I'm a little wider and thicker than she is. So I am adding some rows. I added, first of all, to the length of it, it was only supposed to be 191 chains. I did 200 just because I want it plenty long. And then I added 4 rows on the end, just to have it, because this part goes over your arms a little bit. Just, you know, I don't know, just for more coverage, because I want it to kind of be like a cardigan, but not. But anyway, I just want to make sure that it's warm and it's comfortable. That's all. Loose fitting. I like loose fitting things. So anyway, that's going really good, and I'm almost done with it. In fact, that's the only thing I've been working on probably the last 2 or 3 days. When I sit down, I have been just plugging away at it because I want it done so bad, because it is finally decided, the weather has finally decided to cooperate. It is finally fall weather. Well, at least it has been the last few days. I can't say, you know, indefinitely that it's going to stay that way, because that's how our weather is around here. It just doesn't seem to be consistent. Anyway, but I love this scarfie. I am using the Lion Brand scarfie yarn for this, and I loved it so much. I went out and bought more. I bought it, this is for a different project, but I bought the teal and silver colorway of the Lion Brand scarfie, and I wanted to make another wearable out of it, because it is so soft. It is so beautiful. I love how it looks. I can't get over it. So I went on lionbrand.com because the little pattern book that I have from them, it didn't really have it has several things in it, but I was like, I wasn't too impressed. So I thought I'd go on lionbrand.com and look and see if they had any free patterns to download that I could use this for, and I found one. So I'm going to, I can't show it to you because I don't have a printer, so I can't print it off to show you, but if you go to lionbrand.com and go to patterns for the scarfie yarn, I think there's like 2 or 3 pages, actually 4 pages of just patterns that you can use. That most of them are scarves, but there are a couple cardigans, a couple wraps, and I even saw some ponchos. So, but anyway, I found a really cool cardigan that I want to make, that I'm going to start, I think, when this is done. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, I also wanted to talk about these cute little buckets. I actually got this idea from the Secret Yarnery when she was doing her Tip Tuesday or something a couple weeks ago for her whip baskets. She uses plastic baskets with holes in them. Okay, well, I ran to my local Dollar Tree and I found these adorable little plastic buckets. And they have them in these gorgeous spring colors. Very okay, sorry about that. So they have these really cute buckets, like I said, Dollar Tree for $1, and they have them in really cute hip colors. Let's say hip. There was a gray one. There's this cute mint. I bought, like, there was a navy grayish blue. And then this one is a pretty coral, and I bought 5 of them actually, and they are just right. They hold my yarn, they hold my hook, and they don't take up a lot of room. I can carry them from room to room. I can't remember what other colors I got. I got gray, navy blue, the mint, coral. I was sure I bought 5, but I can't remember the other colors. But anyway, so that was a really cool find, because I don't go in the Dollar Tree a whole lot, but just happened to go in there and I found them. So that was really fun. Let's see, what else did I want to show? Oh, let me just come out. Okay, so I did it. I ordered some hooks from Furls. Yes, I did. So they finally came. So I just got two. This is the Cafe Swirl. It's a 4mm. So I got that. It's beautiful. I don't even know if you can see it very well. It's just beautiful. I got it because, hello, it looks like coffee. Of course I had to. I have not been able to try it yet. It's like I said, it's a 4mm. Right now my projects are not that size, but I am looking forward to using this. I can't wait to use it. The other one I got is a rosewood. They have 4 different wood hooks to choose from, but they are discontinuing them. So I just wanted to let you guys know if you were thinking about it or wanting to get on there and do it, because they're discontinuing them and I don't know how much longer they're going to have them. But this is a rosewood. It's kind of like a medium brown color. They have the really light color and then like an ebony, like a black wood that I thought was really pretty. I wanted to get one of those too, but I just got 2 for now. But they are just beautiful, beautiful hooks. Oh my goodness, they are just gorgeous. Oh, I am so happy with them. Oh, okay. So, you know how this was supposed to be my Afghan? Well, this is the Attic 24 Afghan that I'm working. This will be mine. I just wanted to show you the progress. I haven't been working on it consistently, so I haven't made much progress, but aren't the colors just gorgeous? They're all these bright, vivid, beautiful, kind of springy colors, but I just love them. This is going to be a pretty big blanket, but I'm just so excited to get it done, to use it, and it's very soft. The hook is a little small. I'm not used to that, but that's okay. I still love it, and I'm still very happy to be working on it. Something else I was going to talk about. Can't think of it now. Oh, that's the other thing. I was going to give a little background on how I started crocheting, just a little backstory. I had done one maybe a month or 2 ago, but that's when my old laptop started making this weird crackling noise, and it wasn't picking up my voice, and it didn't turn out very well. So I thought maybe I would do a little. Now I'm not going to do, that video was like 30 minutes long. I'm not going to do that, but I did want to just go over a few of the main points. I don't know, just so you guys can know where I'm coming from, and the projects that I'm doing, and my skill level, and I don't know, just, a little bit more get to know you type stuff. So anyway, so I first tried crocheting when I was 16. I wanted a Afghan for my room, and so my grandma and my mom taught me how to make an Afghan, and I did start it, but I kept making mistakes. I got bored with it. I didn't really like it. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted an Afghan for my room because I had kind of gotten to redecorate it, and I wanted, just a pretty dark green Afghan for the chair in my room. So anyway, my mom ended up finishing it for me because I just got, I was just like, I don't want to do this. So anyway, and then let's see. So I never really had an interest in crocheting or learning how to do it or wanting to do it. And then, let's see, I went to a ladies' fellowship at our church, and it was kind of like a get-together, like a once-a-month type thing, and we would bring a dish to share, so we'd kind of have a potluck, and then everybody would kind of bring something to do, some kind of craft to work on, sewing, knitting, quilting, crochet, scrapbooking, whatever you wanted to do. Well, so I was just like, well, I'll just sit and talk. But everyone had something to work on except me. So I kind of sat there and watched them, and I was fascinated and amazed at the same time how fast they, were sitting there. They could talk and they could look around and they could still do it. And they were making these beautiful things and they were so excited about them. And it was just incredible to me. I was just, and also the other thing, my girls are very close in age. So I had a baby and a toddler at the same time. I mean, not at the same time, but I mean, I had a newborn and a toddler. And, that was a very difficult time. And didn't have a whole lot of time to myself, didn't have a whole lot of time, to be out with friends. You go through that phase when you have little ones. It's a part of life. But anyway, as they got a little older and, I had less dependency on me, I kind of didn't know what to do with my time. I kind of got bored. And, I used to, when I had some free time, I'd just pop in a movie or, spend time with my husband or whatever. But I really did get bored. And I was talking to my husband one day and he's like, well, what are your hobbies? And I was like, I don't really have a hobby. I mean, I don't really have a hobby. And I've always been taking care of, I was a single mom for about 9 years, my oldest, until I met my husband. And so I didn't really have time for a hobby. I really didn't. I was a mom and I worked a full-time job. And so, I would get time here and there. My parents would watch my son. So I could go maybe have dinner with a friend or maybe go out to the mall, once in a while, but I didn't really have time for a hobby. And when I did have free time, if I wasn't at work, I wanted to spend that time with my son. So I would do what he wanted to do. So we'd watch, movies, or we'd, go to the park, or he would ride his bike, or, just stuff like that. So when my husband asked me that, I was just like, I've never, since I had my son, I've never had time for a hobby. I've never even thought about having a hobby. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take the cowl off. It was getting a little hot. And my daughter needed some water. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of looked at my husband dumbfounded. I was like, I don't really have a hobby. I've never had, since I had my son, being a single mom, working full time, I didn't have time for a hobby. What are you talking about, a hobby? So anyway, and I was just, so I started thinking, I was like, okay, what do I, he's like, well, what are your interests? And I was just like, kind of as dumbfounded as before. What do you mean, what are my interests? So anyway, so as I was thinking about it, I don't know, over the last few days or the next few days, I was sitting in our living room and I remember looking at our couches in our living room. There's no Afghan there. And when I was growing up, we always had an Afghan on our two couches. One on each couch. And it would always seem like it was home to me. It was a homey feel. It was a homey look. To have Afghans on the back of our couch. And I remember both of them specifically. One was blue and white, and it was a shell like design. And then the other one was the one that my great grandmother made for us, and it was it was multicolored single crochet stitches, very long, and it had fringe. I remember them. And so I was looking at our couches in our living room. I was like, we need some Afghans. I'd really like an Afghan just to hang over the back of our couch, so it feels like home, it looks homey, but I don't want to go buy one, because that's just, I want a homemade one. But I was like, I don't want to ask somebody to make it for me either. Although I did know plenty of ladies at our church, friends, that knew how to knit and crochet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try again. It can't be that difficult. Let me try again. So I talked to a friend at my church, and I asked her some advice about yarn and hook size, and told her what I wanted to do. And so she helped me, and so I went and picked up some yarn and some crochet hooks, and I came home, and I'll spare you all that. But basically in the meantime, I realized I had a lot to learn before I could jump into making an Afghan. So I started small, started with coasters and dishcloths. And once I got the hang of that, then I moved on to like hats, scarves. Once I got the hang of that, I moved on to like doilies, and I made a couple purses. And you know, each thing that I made, yes, I still made mistakes. I learned from them. I learned maybe some new stitches, some new techniques, how to do color changes, how to weave in my ends better. I learned from every and the other thing I wanted to also mention, you know, I did find a couple videos on YouTube, some tutorials of how to make, but the main thing I did was I went to my library and I checked out, you know, beginner friendly crochet, and just started, you know, trying patterns in those books and reading through them. And that's where I got most of my experience from, is just trying patterns from those books. And my inspiration is definitely my friend that, well, she crochet and knits, and she sews. I mean, she's one of those all around crafty people. And she's been doing it for 5+ years. So she's really fast, and she does beautiful work. But she was my real inspiration, just because she would say, "Hey, look what I made." I was like, "Wow, you made that? Wow," you know. She also, you know, helped me with my baking too, because I always had trouble making homemade bread, and I always killed the yeast. I couldn't figure out how I kept doing it, but I always killed the yeast. And so she gave me a recipe off Pinterest, and it was homemade peasant bread. And I think that was the very first time that I made homemade bread and I didn't kill the yeast. So that's actually still one of my favorite bread recipes. But I make homemade bread, not all the time, but I make it quite often. I just love it. I just love homemade bread. So anyway, and she also inspired me to make my first Afghan, you know, because I started out with the smaller projects, the easier, quicker things, just to build my confidence, to build experience, or to gain experience. And she was the one that was like, you know what, I think you need to make an Afghan. And I was just like, no, too big, take too much time, I'll never get it done, I'll never finish it. No. But I did. I made my first Afghan because of her. And I don't even remember how long it took me, but it took me a long time, but I did finish it. And she's also the one that helps me keep my whips under control. Well, somewhat under control. She advised no more than 3 at a time. I think something fell in our backyard. Anyway, 3 at a time, 3 whips at a time. Try to keep it at that. And if I get more than that, then, you know, I try to finish a couple things before I start something new. So anyway, she's just given me a lot of advice, a lot of tips, and a lot of encouragement. And if I have a problem or I'm whining and grumbling, I know I can text her and, you know, get sympathy. And, you know, a pat on the back. And anyway, I really appreciate her a lot. And so she is also the one, when I first started making crochet videos, and I was just purely doing it for fun. I was not thinking anything else, I made a couple crochet videos and I sent them to her, and I was like, aren't these funny? Ha ha ha, you know, and she's like, you should upload those on YouTube. And I was like, no way, no, not me. And she's like, oh yeah, you can do it. And and it was mainly because my phone would only send like a minute video at a time, and the videos I made were like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. So it was basically, she was saying, well, if you upload them on YouTube, then I can watch the whole thing. And you know, I was worried about them being public and people seeing them. And she's like, oh no, you can do it private, you know, and just only you can see them, and then you can send people the links, and then, you know, they can view them. Well, that didn't work. I tried it several times, and I'm not sure why, but it just never worked. You know, I'm not techie, so I could have been doing all kinds of things wrong. But anyway, so but she did finally was able to view bits and pieces of the videos, and she's like, oh, I would totally watch these if you started making, you know, these crochet videos. I would. And she subscribed to me. She was like one of my first subscribers, and so she really kind of gave me the nudge. And so I started doing some more, and she, you know, commented and gave encouragement and all that. So anyway, I never set out to have a crochet channel. That was not my goal. I mean, this is just kind of all happened, and I'm so glad it has. And I definitely want to glorify the Lord with my channel, with my work. I want to be an encouragement to anyone out there that needs encouragement. I hope that you feel good about yourself when you watch me make mistakes, and you look at my fails. And but also I hope I can encourage you to try again if you have tried something and it didn't work out, because I have to do the exact same thing. But also, if maybe you tried in the past and it didn't work out, maybe I can encourage you to try again, to get back into it and just keep trying until you get it, because I had to keep trying until I got it. And I was going to bring some of my very first projects to show you how bad they were, but I forgot. They're in the other room. Actually, I could go get them. Would you guys like to see them? They are hilarious. I'll go get them. Hang on. Okay. So these are some of my earlier, very early in fact, these are my very first projects. I'm just warning you. They're funny. They're funny, but that's okay. I learned from them. I basically tried the same. It's a dishcloth pattern, and I basically tried it until I got it right. Each time turned out a little bit better than the one before. So I'll show you the worst. This is the worst one. Very simple stitches, just a double crochet in the back loop, and then I think it's a slip stitch border. But yeah, this was my very first one. Very comical. Here's another one. I hope you're feeling very good about yourself. Here's another one, and I don't know why this one is so much bigger than the other one. I'm not sure why, but it is. Also, in the beginning, I did not like to weave an end, so what I did was, when I came to the end, I basically knotted it and cut off the string and just left it like that. I thought that was okay. Clearly it's not okay, but I did it. And then this one is a little bit better, but still, the edges, I had such a hard time getting my edges straight, and that drove me crazy. I did not like having these edges. I wanted them straight, and that made me so mad. Even today, I have trouble, and basically I was going too fast. I was just going fast, trying to get it done. It's my own impatience, but also perfectionism is a problem with me. I'm still trying to not be a perfectionist. But sorry, I just accidentally paused. So anyway, but I learned you have to count your stitches. Let's move the mouse off that. You have to count your stitches, first of all, keep track of your stitches, but also certain stitches like the double crochet, the single crochet, the half doubles. When you're doing a row, if you end with one or you don't, you have to start the same with the other. Anyway, stuff that I did not get on early on, stuff that I didn't know was important, stuff that now it makes total sense now, but back then I was just like, I just want to make this. I just want to get this done. So anyway, and I did not use stitch markers. I use my stitch markers now. I count my chains. Anyway, so I've learned a lot. So anyway, and I just also want to say a big thank you to my family, my friends that encourage me, that support me in this YouTube journey that I'm doing. I don't have a whole lot to offer except I can give you encouragement, and I can support you in what you're trying to do, and maybe get some ideas from some of the things that I do. And I definitely will share if I learn things, with certain projects that I do, or yarns that I use, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm just having fun. I really am. I'm having fun. I love to talk about crochet. I love to share what I make. I like to see what others make. I get ideas and tips from other crocheters. So I'm really having a great time, and I'm really glad that God has given me this opportunity. I believe God, and it's true, God gave me this talent. This is never in my wildest dreams would I think that I would crochet. Never. It was never something, like I said in the beginning, it never appealed to me. It never looked fun to me. It was boring. It's just never was like, oh, I wonder if I could crochet, and maybe, hang on. Okay, so yes, I never thought in a million years, if you had told me, however many years ago, hey, you're going to be crocheting one day, I probably would have laughed you out of this state. I mean, it just never even occurred to me. Never. Now I would look at things like that and be like, wow, that's really pretty. I mean, I could appreciate it, because my sister, who's younger than me, she started crocheting. I don't even know how many years she's been doing it, but and she sews also, but she would make really pretty things, and I was just like, oh, that's nice, but I never was like, wow, I wish I could do that. That was just never an aspiration of mine. It was just never even on my mind. But anyway, so yes, I firmly believe that God gave me this talent, and now I have like a passion for it, and it has taken off, and it is very fulfilling. It has enriched my life, and I'm not trying to be a Hallmark channel here, but I'm so glad that I'm able to do it. I have so much fun doing it. The fact that I can make a blanket for my children, for my husband, for friends and family, and seeing them use it. They'll send me pictures. I just love the Afghan you sent me. I'm using it this afternoon. I'm like, oh, that just touches my heart. And not like a prideful thing, but it's just like, wow, I'm still sometimes amazed, you know, I look at pictures, well, like that video my brother just made of things that I've made, you know, that's over a 2-year span. He didn't know that, but that's all right, because I neglected to tell him that. But anyway, that was over a 2-year span, all those things that I made. And I was just watching that and going over all those and just, you know, reminiscing about all those things that I made. And I was just like, wow, you know, I've done a lot. And you don't think about it when you're doing it necessarily, but you know, it is a lot, and it still amazes me to this day. And I'm just so grateful to be doing this. I'm grateful to have this channel. I'm meeting lots of new people, making lots of new friends, not just here on YouTube, but I'm in Facebook groups. Ophelia Talks Crochet, I'm in her group. Summer's Tips and Stitches, I'm in her group. And then Classy Kim's Crochet, I'm in her group on Facebook. So I get to see and meet lots of other people, and just see what they're doing, and I can share what I'm doing. But then we also have the YouTube platform. And so anyway, and I love, you know, because I'm kind of, like I said, I've only been doing this a little over 2 years, and some of you ladies have been crocheting 25 years, and you know, so you can teach me a lot. You can, you know, give me tips, give me ideas, encourage me, you know. So we're all in this together. That's the way I look at it. But I mean, we all have our own sense of style too. We all have our own preferences. So right now I am definitely in the wearables. I am definitely all about stuff you can wear. I'm making this Ruana. I made that shrug. My next thing is a cardigan. I'm making the slippers for my project demos. And then I think I'm also wanting to make some fingerless gloves, because I've tried mittens before and it didn't work, so I want to try it again. So I think I will do that also. But anyway, so there it is. I think that's all I had to share. So yeah, and I'm having a great time, and hope you are too. Hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my lovely little things. I just keep these mainly as a, I don't know, just to remind me where I was and how far I've come. It's, you know, you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. No one is going to start out perfect at anything. You have to practice. You have to keep trying when you make mistakes. You have to, now sometimes you do have to step away and give yourself a break and come back to it. But I just believe it is so worth it to try again, and so worth it to stick with it, to, well, in my opinion anyway. So, and some people have asked, you know, am I gonna try to learn how to knit, try to learn how to sew? As of right now, no, I'm not. I am not interested in learning how to knit. I'm not interested in learning how to sew. That may change in the future. I don't know what God has for me, but for right now, I really want to dive deep into crochet. I want to learn more. I want to gain more experience. I want to get very, very comfortable, very advanced in crochet, because I don't know, that's just, it's what I love. So now later on in life, maybe I'll knit, maybe I'll sew. I don't know. But for right now, I don't really have, and I have already told you guys I love to bake. So I've learned, I have advanced in baking also. But I've done some vegan baking. I actually used to be vegan. I am not anymore. Not that I'm against it or I don't want to do it, but it's just, it was a family type decision. But yeah, I used to be vegan, so I would bake vegan, and I still do some of the plant-based cooking and baking, just not a whole lot, not as much as I used to. But Anyway, so I had to learn a lot of new techniques and tips and tricks of that. So it's the same thing. You just, the more you do it, the more you learn, the better you get at it. And that's what I want to do with crochet. The more I do it, the more I learn, the better I get at it. So, and the faster. I really want to pick up my speed, not because I want to do projects faster, but I want to do more. Because as I said, with my kids, I have 3 kids, my husband, now the teaching at Joann's it's about 2 or 4 classes a month. So it's not like a big thing, but I just don't have a whole lot of free time. And I want to, when I do sit down to do it, I want to make my time count. I want to get more done in a short amount of time. So that's why I want to work at my speed. So, but again, that's not going to come just like that. It's going to have to be practice. It's going to have to be, doing a little bit each day. So it will come. I'm learning patience. Patience is a big thing too, so, and perseverance, definitely. When you're like my shrug, not you, Frida. Frida's doing a great job, isn't she? She's just doing a great job. My moral support, Frida, just standing there, listening to me talk this whole time, I'm teasing. Anyway, my shrug, yeah, that I had to sew on the bottom ribbing of my shrug. Yeah, I had to sew it on 6 times. The first 5 times I didn't get it right. I had to rip it out. And then the 6th time I had to do, because I finally got it sewed on, but it was backwards. So I had to rip the whole thing out and sew it back on again. So perseverance. I wanted that shrug done. I wanted it done so I could wear it, and I wanted to be done with that project because it was driving me crazy. But anyway, I love it now. So I'm very glad that it all worked out that way. Or not worked out that way, but I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm glad I finished it. So anyway, thanks. This has been fun, I hope, for you guys. It has been for me. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a good rest of your week. And I will touch base with you soon and let you know my progress on those slippers for the project demo. And I'm going to be working on my Ruana. I want to get that done so we can show you how that looks. I just have to, in the back, you just stitch up the 2 sides, and then stitch up these for the armholes, and then it's done. I mean, very simple. So it should be pretty quick. So I'm excited. I want to get it done so I can wear it. So anyway, okay. Well, I think that's all I have for now. So God bless. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.